Hello, surprise. It's Hannah dropping in here with hella vulnerability today. Lots of things are happening in my life, in my business, and there's something about this season that really throws me into a heart-centered place, a time of reflection, and to be honest, it's really related to college graduation season. Um, so I'm feeling inspired and I know this is something I need to do. I'm feeling the anxiety in my body. But I definitely feel called to be sharing with you guys a piece of my story that I have not been honest about with a large audience, that I haven't shared with you in an authentic way. That's because, I'm feeling called to do it, but I also know that sharing, putting this out there brings so much clarity and space. And so this is a fact. This is something I've been holding on to over 6 years. I've had this, and it's been that thing. Do any of you guys have that thing that, it's like if you just solved it, if you were just real about it, if you just got over it, you would have less stress and you would not be obsessed about it? Maybe you have that thing in your life, and this is my thing, and I am ready for it to be out in the open air so that I can move on and that everyone can see me for a more whole and authentic person as I, put myself in more and more uncomfortable situations. I'd rather just let you see me exactly as I am. So the part of my story, just got a little rush. The part of my story that I haven't been authentic and transparent about is the fact that I've had eating disorders. And they started in college. And, there's lots of lessons that can come from having eating disorders. But let me tell you guys, I've done everything from not eating to over-exercising to overeating. So much is wrapped up in food and body image for me. And if you've spent, if you are my personal friend, this is not a surprise, but it is something that I tried to hide and ignore and pretend it was normal. And it wasn't normal. It wasn't healthy. I wasn't okay for a lot of my college career and even some time after that. And so I'm sharing this because there are a lot of lessons that specifically relate to businesses that I want to just put out there, because whether or not you've become obsessed with food or exercise or your body at some point in your life, I think, and I know that there's a lot wrapped up in this that does relate to other things happening, whether you're obsessed with your business, your income, other things. We all have little anxieties. We all have little places of insecurity. And I've done a lot of hard work in getting more clarity on why I became so engrossed. You guys, in college, I would spend 4 hours in the gym. And I would be so meticulous about everything that went into my body because it was really the only thing I knew I could excel at. Okay, maybe you have something right now that you're so focused on because you think it's your zone of genius, because you think you have this goal. And so all of your energy is going into this one goal. So in college, I found myself feeling a little bit like a small fish in a big pond. Okay, I had come from doing all the right things, being class president 6 times. Every time we had an election, I won class president. I dated the high school football player. I was a big fish in my high school pond. And then I went to college, and there were a lot of people like me. There were a lot of ambitious go-getters with, that looked like me, that, did the things that I did. And I needed a way to feel important, feel like I was excelling again. And so I found that I could really manipulate and excel at weight loss. So I set this goal, and it was healthy to start with, I think, lose the freshman 15 or lose the college weight. And I quickly did that. And I proved to myself and my friends that Hannah can get healthy and she does 5Ks. And then it quickly spiraled down to everything I was consuming was related to food and exercise. And I couldn't get enough workouts in, right? I would run in the morning, and then I would work out at night. And then during my lunch breaks, I would bike around, and then I'd go to yoga. And then even I found myself in meetings, or I'd be working in my college jobs, and I'd be trying to get workouts in everywhere I went. And people started noticing. So that was okay, I must be achieving my goal. Look at me once again. I'm the exceller. I'm the person that's achieving this thing. But I think back about all of the opportunity lost because I was so focused on that one goal. of having this perfect body. And so I missed out on college, like, parties, right? Like, I, first of all, didn't have much of the stamina to stay up late, but I also wasn't, like, flexible with, like, dinner plans and drinking, or, I was so rigid on my goal. And this is when I have to sleep, and this is when I have to work out. So I missed birthday parties. I missed breakfasts. I remember one specific instance. The lab manager, I was doing research in a lab, and the lab manager invited me to a breakfast that was going to have some other researchers coming. Okay, like researchers, like experts in their field, were going to come to breakfast, and I was invited. And I didn't go because I needed to work out and eat my own breakfast. And I look back, and I don't want to have regret in my life, but I definitely missed out on a lot. And here, all along the way, I thought I was so awesome, and I was so great at achieving my goals, and I didn't let people distract me. But when those distractions could have been life-changing interactions, could have set me on a whole different course. So maybe right now you're thinking about a goal that you have, that you are so focused on, and you're even kind of patting yourself on the back because you're sticking to it, and you're working hard, and day in and day out, you do your business marketing, and you look at your vision board, or you do your workout. But what are you missing? And what aren't you seeing that's passing you by in your life? Again, like, if I added up the numbers of time, that the 4 hours a day in the gym, I could have been starting my business. I could have been free. I could be a millionaire in those hours if I had been more strategic, but I got anxiety, and I lost weight, and I, had some health ramifications for how much time I spent in the gym. Like, where are you spending your time? And is it actually getting you into, what I'm going to talk about next is the actual goals that you have. Because here I thought that losing weight and sticking to my routine was success. But I was missing out on a way bigger picture. First of all, it was very focused on me, okay? But I also wasn't making the connections, going to the breakfast, doing these things. And I remember sitting on my therapist's couch. And this was in the phase of my, recovery, or whatever you want to call it, that I was still really upset. I thought people didn't get me. Like, you guys, I'm fine, okay? My mom, my roommates, like all these people who were worried about me, I thought they were jealous. I thought that they, didn't get me. You don't get me. I just got healthy. Like, this is a passion. Why isn't anyone supporting me? So anyway, I was a little begrudging to be on this therapist couch, and she's encouraging me to just slow down. And of course, I was already annoyed with her because I was hangry. But she tells me to just slow down. And I'm thinking, why does everyone want to dull my light? Why does everyone why is no one supporting me? Why I have a go-getterness. Like, why isn't my ambition being recognized? And why aren't people proud of all of that I've learned and that I've done and that I've accomplished? And she said something to me, and she said, is that what you want people to be proud of? Do you want people to be proud that you work out a lot and you can count calories? And that hit really hard, because here I was so wrapped up in myself, in my one goal that was bringing me so much joy, so much recognition, that I had completely forgotten about what my real goals were. And, there's science with eating disorders, so your brain isn't super great. But I had let myself get so wrapped up in this eating disorder that I had forgotten that I wanted to, leave a legacy in the world. I wanted to be remembered for something way more than being skinny. And maybe some of you can relate to that, is that you have a legacy that that you want to try and figure out. But again, you're thinking that the legacy is going to be achieved when I lose the weight, or when I launch the business, or when I have this many Instagram followers. That's my legacy? Really? If that's your legacy, we need to talk, because I guarantee you, if you're still listening to me, you've got a soul-centered mission. And it is not about the external accomplishments and the 10K months and the 100-pound body. So I took that, and of course, this was 5-6 years ago. So I still didn't, it took me some time and a lot of hard work to figure out how I was going to let go of my attachment to be the skinny fit girl and allow myself to create a bigger legacy. Because guess what, you guys, that's a lot harder. I can't just go to the gym all of the time. But I allowed myself space to become less stuck, less focused on one goal, and understand that if I created a holistic life that I was actually proud of, others would be proud of me too. So a huge lesson I had, remember I told you how I was like, nobody gets me, everyone's jealous, why don't you understand that I'm a go-getter? Well, it's because I didn't understand myself. And I didn't understand that the weight loss was not my groove. That was not my thing. That was not what I was meant to be doing. I had a way bigger, fish to fry or bread to butter. Okay. We can make all the food puns here now. I love food. Okay. But understanding that I was made for more than one single goal that I had set for myself. And the other thing about achieving that goal, especially when you have one single focus, once you achieve it, it's never enough. So a lot of my problem came in that, like, great, it was healthy to start losing some of my freshman weight, but then I kept going and I kept going because I didn't find that sense of fulfillment, because I need to be better. I need to be smaller. I need to be faster. I need to, right? And so this is what you will also find. If you are not chasing the right things, you will never be satisfied. Again, whether it's in your weight or your business, if you are chasing some landmark that you've put out there for yourself just because, maybe it's because other people are doing it. Maybe it's because you did it one time and you need to keep doing it. Maybe it's because it's what all the experts are telling you. You need to have an automated funnel. You need to have 20K months. And so once you chase that, you're not going to be, and achieve it, you're not going to be fulfilled. And that is what I keep coming back to over and over in my life, because to be totally honest, the eating disorder never went away. I still have days where I think to myself, you should go run again. Or why are you eating that much? And those are the moments I've created a relationship with that voice that I can say, where in my life am I not feeling fulfilled? Because it's really easy to chase those simple, check it off. It's a goal, check it off. I can feel better if I lose weight. But no, it's not about that. There's somewhere in my life that I'm not making the impact that I want to. So I share this because it feels really nice to be honest. And for some of you who know me personally, this might be like, yeah, we all knew. Okay, but for me to own this part of my story and tell you, not that it's a sob story, but to empower you to look at the things that get in your head, that manifest in your body or your life or your income, and understand, is that the legacy you want to leave? Are these the goals you want to be chasing? Is this the image you want to put out into the world? And if you've got a bigger vision, maybe you want to change the world of education. Maybe you want to inspire masses of women to understand that they're beautiful. Maybe you want to understand how to run a successful automotive company. Okay? If you're focusing just on one thing that's going to serve you and make you feel good or fill up your bank account, I want you to consider what you actually want to be remembered for. And when that therapist helped me think about, how do I want to be remembered? I started down a whole new path of healing and self-discovery and achievement. I now achieve so much more. Of course, I'm not spending that much time in the gym. That sounds like terrible to me now. I used to think that brought me energy. And think about how do you want to be remembered, and focus on those things in your day-to-day life. And it's okay to be human. Okay. Another piece of the story is that, like, man, I am interested. It's interesting that it took me this long to own it, because so much of my life and like what I want my legacy to be is just like, owning yourself and sharing your stories and letting the imperfections be part of your journey. And like, your dream life is your real life. Like, real life comes into the dream, and it's not always like travel blogs and photo shoots, or whatever your dream is. It's not always that. I still have these eating disorder things. I still have to check myself and ask myself, Hannah, really? Like, do you want to be remembered as the girl who didn't eat the bread? Or do you want to be the girl who brought bread to many? And everyone's journey and legacy is different here. But I want you to understand that when I share these things, when I encourage you guys to dream big or focus on your goals, what I'm really asking you to do is think about three things that my whole mission and my business is focused on now, and that is your legacy first and foremost. How do you want to be remembered? Do you know this is the question that Oprah asks most people on her couch? So if you like Oprah, you can like that question and have an answer ready for her. The second thing is, where do you want to be sharing your message? What is the platform you want to stand on? For me, I was standing on a treadmill and the salad bar line. Okay. Not really sharing the impact that was going to lead me to a big legacy. So think about, where are you standing? What is your platform? And then third, something that is important so that we can have time to process these things is your income. So those are the 3 pillars of Dream Life that you're going to be seeing, is your legacy, your platform, and your income. And all of these things relate to, your own self-awareness and being real about what the dreams are that you have. So thank you all for listening. I feel better. I don't know who else is here with me. If you guys have a piece of your story that you're holding on to and it's kind of clogging you, and you're like, the reason why I'm doing this is because too many coaches have told me this is integral. Okay, you're holding back. This is a part of your story. It's who you are. And you just need to put it out there. And the people who need it will take it, and the people who don't need it won't take it. So thank you if you are listening. I hope it resonates with some of you in the way that I showed you, that there's something in each of us that we're holding on to that's keeping us a little bit small, a little bit insecure. And I promise you that when you release that, you're going to have space for so much more abundance in your mindset, in your community, and all the goals that you're trying to chase, and also your vision for your legacy. So let go of those stories. Let go of those mistakes or those things. I know we all have them. I would love a direct message if anyone else is like, this is my thing. I know what you mean. Because I've been holding on to this for years and years and years. And now it just is what it is. It's a lesson to learn from. So I would love to hear if other people want to send me a direct message about what your thing is. And I'm also going to be sharing a bit more of these personal lives with you guys. I mentioned to you, the college era is something so near and dear to my heart. Many of you know I used to be a college advisor. And although I had tumultuous times in college, I really appreciated the experience. And this time of year, I always love watching commencement speeches and getting that boost of inspiration and that fresh start feeling with spring and graduation time. So look for more from me. And again, I appreciate you guys seeing and hearing me for who I am and taking this part of my story, my dark side. I didn't get too much into the real pains, but if you've ever had an eating disorder, there's a lot to be learned. There's a lot to be learned. So I'd love to know if any of these lessons resonated with you. And I will see you all very soon. Take care. Have a yummy dinner. And remember that your dream life is your real life. So go live it.